What's going on, YouTube people? It's that time. We got to work on the big rig, man. Dang! But the heater fan on this truck hasn't been working all that great for some time. I turn it on, the thing sits there and goes, "Rrrr." Sounds horrible. Sounds like grandma pulling out the weed whacker. You know what I mean? So what we're going to do today is I'm going to give you a little educational video on how to install, sorry about the light, how to install a heater fan in your bunk in a Peterbilt, okay? Not all are the same. This is an older model. This is a 2000 Peterbilt. It is -7 degrees right now, and I'm tired of being cold. So, with further ado, I had done a few things. If you've seen what I done, where we're looking at, if you look, I removed whatever was here, okay, and then I have my motor right here, okay, and there is 3 screws, and you'll need a small socket wrench, and I believe that is a 3/16. Let me double check here. That light is not good in this truck. Yeah, it's a 3/16. You got one here, one there, and one over here, okay? One over here on the other side, alright? Mine had a screw in it in one place, and I'm like, what the frick? So what you do, you pop this bad boy out here, okay? And voila, you got her out, right? Make sure you unplug it, make sure everything's turned off, you know, or just unplug it, and make sure your fan matches, your fan motor matches your other one, which it does. It's the same exact one for this truck. Alright, now here's the problem. You know something about here, folks? Now what's the problem? Well, Paul, you don't have a fan on it. That is right. This here, I believe, is off balance. See how it sits there and see what I mean? I think that's the culprit of my problem. Not only that, I got bad bearings in this. See how this is? I believe I got bad bearings on this thing, okay? Or the fan could be possibly loose, but I think I just got bad bearings in it, because when you hold it like this, it rattles, okay? This one don't rattle. Everything's good and tight, German tight, good and tight. So I went out and bought me another fan for the new unit. It wasn't that much, you know, it was like $25 for just this. $125 for the fan motor itself. Good luck finding one in a junkyard, because it's probably been done salvaged. So what you got to do, if you have a good fan on your unit, okay, and there ain't nothing wrong with it, and it's not bent, as you can see, mine is bent, okay, and how I know it's bent is how it's moving. It's sitting there going up and down, all right? See that? That thing's bad. So we're getting rid of this bad boy, okay? So we're going all brand new for the Peterbilt. We probably won't ever have to change this in more than a century or more, but you know, you don't have to change them that often. But this one didn't last very long because the fan motor was bad. Well, the fan was bad, caused the fan motor to go bad on itself because it's off balance and it's bent. So here's the new one, and if you look right here, there's a flat spot. So you look over here on your unit. Oh, look, there's a little Allen hole. Okay, so what we got to do is find out what size Allen wrench goes to that, and then we stick it to the unit. Of course, that's what you do. Now I'm going to pause this video just for a second, and I'll show you what you're supposed to do. Alright, so what you need to tighten that wheel up on there is a 1/8 Allen wrench. Okay, what you need. So what you're going to do is you're going to get your wheel on there, slip it on there, make sure you got your Allen side on there, try to tighten it up with your fingers just a wee bit, best you can, until your fingers can't do the work no more. Now don't make this flush up against, because it's going to rub. You don't want this thing to be rubbing. You want to just kind of have it out just a little bit, and then you do a little bit of tightening. Alright, bear with me here. I'm doing all this one-handed, and that takes talent. Alright, so I get on here, I tighten her up, and then you try her out, make sure she ain't rubbing. You just reverse what you just did, but I'm gonna go ahead and tighten this up. Alright, so we tighten up our little Allen wrench, alright, in our little doodad here. Now, I'll kind of show you the best I can. If you look down in there, there's a flat point to this, okay? And there's a little bitty Allen wrench down in a little Allen head in there. If I can get the light to shine, see that hole right there? You got a little Allen wrench style screw in there. Make sure that's flush with the flat part, okay, guys? That's how you do that there. Now, make sure when you do this that you pull this wheel up just a smidge so that the wheel will roll freely and it won't sit there and rub. See how quiet that is? That's what you want it, good and quiet. I mean, that one's quiet, but you ought to hear that thing when it's hooked up. It goes, and it's noisy. As the bearings are shot in it, and how it sits in there. So, now we're back at the hole where we got to put this unit back in there. So, we got to figure out how she goes back in there, right? Of course we do. And I kind of remember, excuse me. I just hope this is the cure of all my problems today. If not, it'll go back to Kenworth where I bought it. I'll give you the part number for this here in a minute, so that you have the part number as well. And if I remember, I'll put it in the description. So what I'm going to do is line my screws up real quick. Make sure everybody is all happy, right? Okay. Alright. Now, if you remember a previous video I did, it wasn't blowing hot air, and it was because the box inside here, the flap that opens and closes, right? It was not happy. And basically what it was is it was jammed up. And it's this controller here was still working. It's just the cause of the problem is that the flap inside the box was messed up, and I explained how that was in a previous video. I couldn't video it when I did it. I do apologize. So furthermore, let's go ahead and get these screws on here and get this thing rocking, man. I've been ready for this for some time. I ordered it 3 weeks ago from Kenworth. It was cheaper to get it from Kenworth than what it was to get it from Peterbilt. And when it's got the PB on it, you're going to pay more for it. So do some shopping around before you go buy parts somewhere. Shoot, I could have got this motor at Advanced Auto Parts, a matter of fact. And this would fit it in an old Chevy or an old Ford or something like that, from what I understood. So let's get this one in the back here. Some sort of vehicle it would fit in somewhere else. Alright. Now, someone had redneckified this screw, because that's what the way they do this truck, I found out recently. There was a lot of things that were just engineered, and you're like, what the frick? I got a trailer right now I got from them. They engineered a mud flat bracket, and it was kind of funny looking, and with all the cold and the bumps and everything, it was negative 28 degrees this morning when I got up over there in Iowa City. I started out in Walcott, and Iowa City was even colder in Iowa. So just a little bit too chilly for me. So I'm gonna put my screw in there, try to get this thing to work. Alright, make sure it's good and snug. Alright, so I gotta put my old socket on there. Just make them snug, you know, don't just force them on there, because you got plastic on right there, guys. So just be careful when you tighten. Just make them good and snug. You want foot-pounds of torque, call it Peterbilt, okay? And in my house, we just call it good and tight. That's all we need, just good and tight, and you're good, okay? So I'm trying to make do with what I got, doing it one-handed. Alright. Almost there, guys. And I hadn't even tried this fan motor out. Alright, so now it's German tight, good and tight. And then I gotta plug it in here. Look at what you got. Look what you got. Figured out how it goes back together, because it's the same way as you took it off, right? I'll be so glad if it doesn't go. It's working. I feel it blowing. It's blowing. Alright, hold on a second, guys. Alright, she's working. I got her plugged in. She's working. Let's go on over here and turn her up. See if she makes a bunch of noise. Woohoo! No more at night, man. Awesome! I am so stoked, guys. This has been long in the making to get this thing fixed for me. I could have done it this past summer, but I didn't even think about it. I'm like, well, I'll get it fixed eventually. But eventually I said, enough is enough. I thought it was going to cost me $400 to fix this. I only spent, well, I could show you the receipt, but I'm not going to. But no less than about 200 bucks, give or take. And I didn't even pay a mechanic to do this, okay? But mechanics to do this, you're awesome. We appreciate the work you guys do for us. But if you can fix it yourself, this is the way to go, guys. I mean, listen to that sound. You might hear the truck in the background. I'm sorry if there's loud noise from the big truck. I gotta keep warm because it's -7 right now, so I don't want to get any colder than what it is. But I'm stoked, guys. I mean, I have a quiet fan in my Peterbilt. Now I got a heater for my Peter. There you go. Ha ha. So, remember, it's easy to do. Simple as I'll get out. And remember, all you got to do is find out where your bunk heater is. Okay. And remove the top. Find your blower motor. And remove the motor. As simple. 3 screws. And turn back around. You've got a wire to take off of it. Put it all back in. Just follow the steps I told you about the fan motor, and you're good, man. I mean, simple, easy peasy work. I mean, I've done a few of these in my lifetime, you know, off and on in my vehicles, like my cars and stuff. I mean, they're not as hard in some vehicles I've done. I had an 85 Camaro, and that thing was a pain to take apart. And I had a heater core issue too, so that took me about 2 days to do myself. No experience. That's another story. And I'm more of a Ford guy anymore. I had less problems with my Fords than I did my Chevys, just to put it that way. But anywho, y'all be safe out there. Like, subscribe to my videos. Be safe out there, my friends. And I'm going to keep trucking tomorrow morning. And that's what I do on the side. I do trucking for a living, and just give you little tips for trucking. But also we do other guy stuff on here. We do a little bit of shooting, and you know, might have some funny stuff going on here and there. If I can find something cool, I'll show it to you if I can. All right, so be safe out there. All right, peace. I'm going out later. Peace be gone. God bless. Oh yeah.